Hello everyone. In this video, let us see derivation of Snell's law. Consider the following analogy to derive it. Let us imagine that a person has fallen out of boat and is in distress at point B as shown in the figure. The line marked through point X is shoreline. It can be also called as interface, the boundary which is dividing the two media. Here one is land, the other one is sea. Let us assume that we are at point A as lifeguards on the shore and we saw the accident. In order to save the person, we need to travel a certain distance on land and a certain distance in water. We know that we can run faster on land than we can swim in water. Now, the condition that we need to remember is we need shortest possible time to reach the person at B. Shortest possible time. So we have different paths to reach from point A to point B. As we are at point A, we can select any one of the paths out of these paths. But the condition here is shortest possible time. So now if you see different paths to reach from A to B, let me label this as C, this is D, this is E, and this is F. So out of all these paths, C path is the shortest possible time path because as we can run faster on land, then we can swim in water. So let us cover large area on land and the rest of the area in water. And in remaining paths, more time can be consumed. So the shortest possible time path is A, C, B. So let us take the diagram related to it. We are at A and the shortest possible path is A, C and B. Okay, and one of the nearest point let us take, that is D. A, D, B. Right? So let us draw two normals at 2 points, that is D and C. Let us mark this as angle of incidence and this is angle of refraction at point C. And at point D, let us take angle of incidence and angle of refraction. Okay. Now, let us draw a perpendicular from point D and label it as E. And another perpendicular from point C and let us label this point as F. Now the distance from A to E is equal to A to D. The distance from, that is A to D, is equal to A to E. In the same way, this is on land, right? On land. In the same way, in water, the distance from C to B is equal to the distance from F to B. The distance from C to B is equal to F to B. This is in water. In water. Okay. Now let the time taken let the time taken to travel from E to C, E to C, and D to F be delta t. Here time is what? Delta t. And V1 and V2 be the speeds of running and swimming. Running and swimming. So here from E to C, this is running on land. This is the extra distance what a lifeguard need to travel. That is, we need to travel on land. So for this distance, speed is V1. And this extra distance from D to F in water, right? For this distance, the speed is V2. And in both the cases, time taken is delta t. Okay. So now we can write speed is equals to distance upon time. We want distance EC, that is on land, and distance DF, that is in water. So we can take distance as subject here. Distance is equals to speed into time. So EC is distance on land. EC is equals to, on land speed is what? V1 into time is delta t. So this is while running on land. Running. Okay. Then the distance df. df is equals to, what is the speed for swimming in water? V2 into delta t. This is distance while swimming. Okay. So if we divide EC upon DF, we can write it as V1 into delta T upon V2 into delta T. So here we can cancel delta T and delta T. So finally we can write here from this relation as EC upon DF is equals to V1 upon V2. Okay. From relative refractive index. Okay. We can write it as V1 upon V2 is nothing but here N2 upon N1. Let us consider this as expression 1. So how we got N2 upon N1? This is from the relation of relative refractive index. Okay. So now let us consider only that part what we need to travel extra on land, that is E to C, and the extra path that we need to travel in water, that is D to F. Now if we consider only this small part from the above ray diagram. So here in this diagram we are taking D, C, E and F. So now in this diagram DCEF as we have taken, right? So here angle of incidence. So if we consider this as 90 degrees, when this becomes angle of incidence I, the remaining angle will become 90 minus I in this right angle triangle. What is that right angle triangle? DEC. Okay, 90 minus I. So here it will be 90 degrees and here this angle will become what? Angle I, as these points D and C are close to each other. and in second right angle triangle DFC, right, this angle is angle of refraction R. Now this total angle here is 90 degrees. 90, this is R. The remaining angle is 90 minus R. Then here what angle we will get? It becomes R, right? So now let us write the terms from this diagram. In triangle, in right angled triangle, right angled triangle, what is that right angled triangle? Triangle DEC. DEC, if I take sine I is equals to, angle is here, so this EC becomes opposite side and DC becomes hypotenuse. As we know, sine is opposite side by hypotenuse. We can write sine I as EC by DC. Okay, so another right angle triangle, similarly another right angle triangle is delta, that is triangle DFC. In this we have angle as sine R. Here is the angle, opposite side is DF, hypotenuse is DC. So we can write this as DF upon DC, right? So now let us take sine I upon sine R. Sine I upon sine R is equals to, what is sine I? EC by DC. EC upon DC divided by sine R is what? DF upon DC, right? So in next step we can write it as, this implies sine I upon sine R is equals to EC by DC into DC by DF. So we can cancel here what? DC and DC. DC and DC get cancelled, and we can write sine I by sine R is equals to sine I by sine R is equals to EC by DF. Let us represent this as expression 2. Now EC by DF, what we have? V1 by V2, and that is equals to what? Refractive index of second medium upon refractive index of first medium. So let us substitute EC by DF here. Then we can write from expressions 1 and 2, sine I upon sine R is equals to, what can we write here? N2 upon N1. Okay, so let us cross multiply the terms. Multiply sine I with N1, sine R with N2. So then the relation can be written as N1 sine I is equals to N2 sine R. So this is the derivation of Snell's law. Okay, as we have previously learned, what? Sine I by sine R is a constant, always a constant, what we have discussed. Now this relation is N1 sine I is equals to N2 sine R. So this is the final relation what we have got. Hope you have understood this relation. N1 sine I is equals to N2 sine R. So this is the required derivation for Snell's law. Hope you have understood the explanation. Thank you.